Hey, this is Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
This is Stephanie.
This is Alan.
Welcome to season 3, episode 6.
Yeah.
Good topic tonight, guys.
We are talking about some cursed movies.
Yeah, and movie sets.
Yeah, productions. Yeah, movie productions.
Maybe movies you didn't want to make.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's dig right into it.
So what's the difference between an unlucky or a irresponsible film set rather than one that's cursed? What is the difference there? I mean, movies like Heaven's Gate, they were unlucky for the horses. They blew up like 1,500 horses during the filming of this. And they had a lot of terrible, terrible accidents. But that's also because of the way the guy was making movies, right?
So just irresponsible.
Or
Irresponsibility can lead to bad luck.
and that happens. That happens in a lot of the stories I've heard. But yeah, I mean, does it mean some sort of intention of harm from something? That's what I would get.
Yeah, if you
it's
think
cursed.
about it, some of these movie stars, they end up having nightmares or PTSD after making a movie because they were pushed to a certain limit of some. Think of Heath Ledger.
I was just about to say The Dark Knight. Yeah.
His role disturbed him, and the medication he took plus drugs.
He went deep in that
Method
role.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
He went deep in that. I've read articles where he was like so hardcore studied into that character, like in a very methodical, deep manner, to the point where it, affected him. It stopped being his job, and that's just who he became. That's how deep he
Method
went.
acting has done a lot of harm.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, and that's.
But I mean, like I said, would it mean some sort of negative intention if something's cursed rather than something's unlucky, right?
Cursed with
If you lay a curse on something.
Think like a rag doll. Or voodoo. Not a rag doll, voodoo doll.
He
Jeez.
said ragdoll. I thought of
One or
Annabelle.
the other.
Right, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think like with the cursed, like maybe it was beyond like the creator's control,
And
or
something.
or they
I
did
guess.
something that brought it on, and they unknowingly, did something like.
Yeah, it seems like some sort of method to the way that it gets to people too.
It's very, very creepy how some of it, the movies we're going to talk about tonight,
They're
well known,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't know like the side effects that happened because of making the movie, and maybe it's because how the movie was made. But yeah, what movie do you got?
I know a lot about these movies. I know a lot about actually like probably I've done quite a bit of research on about a dozen or so movies, maybe more. Any that you're particularly familiar with?
I did some stuff on the Poltergeist.
Yeah, that's a
Let's warm up with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
one's
weird one.
That one's
yeah.
freaking creepy.
that's probably the biggest name in
Yeah.
terms of the curse.
Okay, this curse for the Poltergeist film.
And what caused it?
Exactly.
Well, let's go to the Poltergeist, the first one. All right, they were doing budget. You tell me why it's cheaper to get real skeletons than fake ones?
Across the world from some catacomb that a mining operation is unearthing.
Yeah,
And that's the thing.
the
You
actress
could buy.
didn't even know she was swimming with real skeletons.
They
brought
were selling
real,
tonnages of bodies to different productions.
like it was mass, just like mass. Here's some bones.
Yeah, to school. Yeah, they would send these bodies to schools, to scientific institutions. They'd send them to the movie sets. They'd send them.
So if you opt to donate your body to science, you might end up on a movie set.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could end up being on a movie set. have a horror film if you donate your body to quote unquote science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Method acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Poltergeist, they literally, instead of paying for rubber or plastic skeletons, which most actors expect, it's gonna be fake. The actress had no idea.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
threw her in the pool with real skeletons, and it wasn't until after the fact that she was made aware.
Yeah, they sent him to the surface by floaties, and I think that's even funnier. So they didn't even know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, get in the water, and I think they used a couple of those like skeletons like that in Raiders of the Lost Ark in one of the first scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
but
I'm guessing Spielberg had a guy in the skeleton worlds.
so
They're cheaper by the tonnage than plastic skeletons.
yeah, that makes sense, I guess. But what does that typically bring if we're talking about hauntings? You bring somebody's dead body, bones, to a movie set. You've taken it out of its burial ground. What typically happens in most, in a lot of cases?
Well, what happened in the movie Poltergeist? It didn't work out for them in the movie.
No, it
No,
didn't.
it didn't.
No.
And it didn't work out for them in real life. But
The filmmaker, yeah. The characters,
The
it didn't work out for the characters, no.
traditionally, it's a sacred thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't mess with the bones. You could bring curses. People, cultures, bring on curses because
Yeah.
you mess with the dead or you bring out the bones. I don't think they were really thinking about that
Sacred.
when they brought the
Well,
bone.
they desecrated these bodies. They
Yeah.
used them
Yeah.
for entertainment. They did things to them, posed them in different things, put floaties on them.
Yeah,
It's gonna make
so
some
it was-
spirits
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah, I mean, I would be
Imagining what
happy.
happened
Grandpa
your
does not
body
want to
after
have
you're
water
dead.
wings on him.
Put the floaties on Grandpa.
Actually, given who our grandparents are, they probably would. They probably would be cool with that.
Right.
But if you think of death and what happens to your body after you die, whether you get embalmed or where you get cremated, it's disturbing. So imagine having your body set as a
The
prop.
people tend to lose quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
They keep it off, and that's just
Good for them. That's
It looks like we
crazy.
had some angry
it's a
souls
dark-
on that set. Yeah.
Yeah, this angry souls on that set, and it's not like It's like the bodies were identified either. They were just
no mass graves.
Mass graves.
These were from a catacomb.
so.
And we don't even know what caused
where?
their death or,
So it got so intense on that set. After that, that they had to bring in an exorcism and to even film the second film. They wouldn't film without an exorcism.
There's some really weird stuff that happened, and deaths among the actors.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Can't
just
get
about to
in.
say.
They didn't
Now we
make
move
it.
into, they did the exorcism, because Zach, cursed and like things were happening, and then they call it the poltergeist death curse. So not only did they act it in the movie, but it became a real life horror story for them.
Yeah, for Heather O'Rourke, Dominic Dunn,
Yep.
both of the sisters.
Yep.
And didn't something happen to the guy, the boy in that one? I know he almost died on set.
Julian Beck of stomach cancer, though he had it before the role was taken, and Will Sampson of complications of heart-lung transplant. And then most recently, addition to the death list is Lou Berryman, who played the role of Pugsley in 1982's film. He was brutally murdered by an ex-convict.
Dominic Dunn was murdered by her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So yeah, weird. These
Yeah.
deaths, things that they
Yeah.
Was strangled by an abusive ex-boyfriend, dying 5 days later. So, what do you guys think? Do you think the bones? Do you think that cursed the crew, the sets, certain people? Did it target
I think it could have been a combination of both, and then just the subject of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
a poltergeist.
And then the
You know,
subject behind
pretending
it.
to conjure something, or pretending something is happening in terms of spirits. You know, you don't know what's around you.
And they may have turned up more than they could chew. There was also a near miss for the Richard Lawson, who played Ryan, was on U.S. Air Flight 405, which crashed into Flushing Bay in 1992. While 27 of the 51 passengers lost their lives, Lawson survived.
Do you remember that classic scene with the clown toy in that first one? In the little boy's room? Steven Spielberg actually saved that kid's life. Because everyone else thought it was just him acting really well, pretending to be choked by the thing around his neck. But he actually lost consciousness.
That's
When
crazy.
when he turned blue and the color went out on his lips, that's when Spielberg got in there. But no, yet this thing ratcheted around his neck and tightened.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's
Like that wasn't a creepy enough scene already. Now you know that the kid's actually getting choked in that cut.
That's crazy. That this whole set.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they had to do an exorcism to even go into the second one willingly says a lot about how cursed the first one was.
Yeah.
What other movies? There's another big one.
So another big one is going to be probably The Omen.
Yeah.
You know, The Omen 1975 version, because there's another
You should have
version out
known
there.
something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like some sort of omen.
Yeah, you know, a movie about a child with demonic ties and
The
weird things
theme
happening with
tends
the
to-
family, people who care for the child, you know. There's that famous scene where, you know, he's having this birthday party or some party, and the nanny goes on top of the building, and she's like, "This is for you," and like throws herself off this building. You know.
Yeah, what's really weird about that one is the way that people died in relation to that one.
Definitely, and if you remember the movie, there's these hellhounds that pretty much come for him. They're Rottweilers, okay?
Yeah.
And so the Rottweilers actually attacked the people on the set. You know, the
What?
trainer was being attacked by these Rottweilers, and they were well trained. They had experience. You know, they had prepared for this movie, and they just were uncontrollable at that
And
time.
That's so weird because that's the way that all the animals that Damien comes across in that.
Yeah, that's how they act.
Yeah, that some would turn incredibly vicious, others would run from his character.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And then there's
There's that famous zoo scene.
Yeah, the baboon, you know, that they're in a drive-through zoo, and Mom and Damien are in a car, and this baboon just goes crazy on the car.
Also the giraffes, those ran off. One of them kicked someone. I remember.
The trainer of the baboon was actually killed that same week of that scene being filmed by another animal. It wasn't a baboon, but it was another animal, but just, you know, that's just crazy, you know.
That's
The dogs are going crazy, the animal.
What brought this all on, though? Do you guys, was it just the set? Was it the energy? Did somebody...
I think the theme.
The theme
I mean it's pretty. We're a lot of these movies that had that supernatural, unknowable evil theme to it. It's these supernatural, Judeo-Christian horror movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what brought it. Just the energy itself.
Other The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, yeah, you know, things.
Yeah, there's a bunch. The Possession, Deliver Us from Evil. It seems that that's not a very safe topic.
No.
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 But I mean, the Omen's one of the craziest, definitely.
Yeah, and you know, there was a scene in the movie where there was a filmed decapitation, and that artist who created that scene, you know, was decapitated
What?
in real life. You know, him and his wife were on the road and they got in an accident. He was decapitated by a tire. A tire
A freak
flew
accident
through,
in traffic. And that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. There's even the billboard that the guy had just passed said OMN, and like last exit.
Yeah, and they said something that the film set that they were going to was 66.6 kilometers away. So 666, which focused on the movie, if you've seen it, you know, the kid has the marking of 666 on him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The devil's number. Although 616 should be it. That one was crazy. There's also a whole plane full of filmmaking crew that ended up going down.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, in the big accident. It started by lightning hitting the plane.
Oh man.
What the actor whose plane it was, Gregory Peck's plane. He ended up having his double in there, and the thing was struck by lightning.
That's crazy.
Lightning caused a death in one of the movies.
Yeah, there was two lightning incidences, yeah.
The deaths
inside the actual, like in the story of the movie.
So it's like the deaths in the movie somehow paralleled into real life.
Oh yeah, that's why these stories have become so. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that if it was a romantic comedy, people would be talking about the romances on set. And if it was a horror movie, people would be talking about something. But there's a big difference from that and something that's absolutely insane, like the coincidences you get in Poltergeist or you get in The Exorcist.
Yeah, it's chilling, really. You think about it. There was a death by lightning in the movie and death by lightning in real life for the same people associated.
And then if you think about it, if you remember The Exorcist, one of the beginning scenes is, you know, they're in a church and the priest walks in and he sees the Virgin Mary and there's like this horn coming out through her and there's blood and he gets scared and he turns away. You know, maybe just even messing with those types of relics or, you know, like it's like a form of desecration if you think about it. Even though it's for a movie, it's a prop. It's just a replica of what people do pray to and stuff. So it wouldn't be surprising if it did bring on something, you know.
Just that energy around that.
If that world exists, they have a lot of reason to be pissed off at those movie sets.
Yeah.
Makes perfect good sense there. Maybe not perfect good sense to do it, but what we're talking about makes, you know, that coincides.
Or Jim Caviezel in The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually hit by lightning.
That's right.
On the Christ or the hill where Christ was crucified.
That's
he was
insane.
hit by lightning. Yeah, and the guy who moved them up there, the assistant director, got struck twice on that same day. How do you get struck twice?
Yeah, the chance of getting struck by lightning once is...
The second one struck him when he was already unconscious, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot. Jim Caviezel was also repeatedly whipped by someone who didn't know they were really whipping him with a whip. He had one of his lungs ended up collapsing.
Dang.
From just getting sick on set. A lot of that was another one of those.
That's tough. That's tough, and just thinking about that subject entirely, just like, whoa. Maybe you should leave that one alone.
Yeah, give that character a wide berth for a little while.
Yeah, don't play Jesus. Just don't do it.
No, that's another one of those.
That sounds like the wrath of God. Just. Just straight up.
It's one of those. Or you know, if he's around, strike me down. One of those moments. Okay.
Strike.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Poltergeist. We've talked about The Omen.
About The Exorcist, you know.
We've mentioned a little bit of The Exorcist. What else?
But, you know, another big thing that happens on movie sets is people actually die while making the movie. Or people actually die on the movie set, whether it's the crew or the actual actor itself that dies during these these movies.
Like The Crow.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
And yeah, that also fits in with the Lee family curse too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I when I watch that movie and I see that scene, just knowing that he actually died. You know, that was the scene he died in. You know.
And
What was the
Lee.
scene? Elaborate the scene.
So. It's towards the very end of the. It's towards the end of the movie, and you know, there's like this shooting, you know, and he jumps down, and he's actually hit. It's supposed to be a rubber pellet.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a rubber pellet.
It's from the scene with that character Fun Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Massey's character.
Yeah. And it wasn't a rubber bullet. Or a rubber pellet. That's sad.
It's not like what happened with this contraption gun was it ended up getting a blank stuck in it, and so when it was used at a later point in the scene, they and the hammer it sent a bullet that was stuck in the gun into him.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was like a freak accident, you know, and it's just.
It's also why you have to point even FX guns away from the actor now. So they have to get the
angle.
Yeah, they have to get the shot in other ways. Show someone's arm and then show, because they can't actually even have the contraption guns pointed at them anymore, directly at them.
Probably a good thing after that.
Yeah, there were a lot of stuff on that set though too.
Yeah. Like what?
At one point, a worker ended up driving a truck straight through the set.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. People almost died from that. Although he did say that there was a lot of drug use. Brandon Lee's in an interview saying there was a lot of drug use on that set too. He said that every time someone sneezed, that someone lost $50.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what Brandon Lee said.
So that almost falls on the line of the responsibility.
Yeah.
There was also other things like an electrical fire. Someone got shot with a nail gun a few times.
What?
Yeah, a lot of on stage or like on set. A lot of on-set injuries, and at least the one death that was caused.
And you mentioned it falls under the line of the Lee family curse.
Mm-hmm.
Let's tell audio, what is the Lee family curse?
It was first something that was really made a idea that was really came from Bruce Lee's grandma and like aunt, because they believed in feng shui. And
Feng shui.
apparently his house, the house that Bruce Lee got them, was she said that it would get him killed because of the way he had it. And he was very modern and he didn't really believe any of that. But she brought it up after he died. She brought that up regularly because she didn't want Brandon and everyone else to get that same bad luck, which apparently he did.
And I know Brandon's mother tried to keep him from acting too altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was his dad was his hero. But there's also the mysterious surroundings behind Bruce Lee's death. I mean, the closest someone can figure is that he worked too hard, worked too much. He worked himself to death, literally. That's the cause of death.
I've heard that. I've actually heard that about him.
Yeah.
So I think what we're getting at is, like, there's a line between a true cursed set, film, versus maybe a lot of negligence, unsafe practices, like responsibilities that can draw bad luck versus cursed.
Intent and a sort of sense of justice to it in some ways.
Also, like the Twilight Zone.
That's another one.
That's another one
of
that
those.
had a freak accident on set, and it's actually in the movie. You don't see that part, but you see the part that leads up to where the accident occurred in the movie, and it actually led to decapitation.
No kidding. What happened?
They're filming this scene, and it's like
scene
Vietnam.
with the Nazis. He's an awful person. He's going back through time and seeing wartime Germany.
Okay. I know it has to
With
do with
Vic
the
Morrow.
helicopter, and there's like explosions, and there's things going on, and I guess during this time, that's where the head was decapitated of one of the main actors, and
Vic, right? Vic Morrow. It was Vic Morrow and two little boys that he had, or two young children that he had under his arms.
How did they classify that? Like just an accident, freak accident?
Apparently, those kids were paid under the table too. So man, I mean, it was going to be a bad day no matter what.
Yeah.
But it got worse.
Oh jeez.
Sorry. It's this kind of joke that could also cause a curse, I'm sure.
knocking on every wood surface.
Not all the wood we could think of.
Spielberg was involved with that one too.
Huh. That's something to think of.
Spielberg?
I think Spielberg's the reason.
Spielberg.
Yeah, there you go. Although you don't hear about the curse of Jurassic Park. I guess I guess no like dinosaurs are defending their skeletons.
Did you hear that roar? What roar?
I just saw the water moving in my cup, and there was nothing there.
Did you guys hear that? Don't mind my
Did you guys see a ghost T-Rex? You too?
Jeez.
Ghost T-Rex.
The ghost T-Rex. And it talks. I got little arms. Big mouth. Little arms.
Yeah.
What was the top speed of the T-Rex?
Let me consult my library and my companion. let me find out. I'm gonna text Jeff Goldblum.
I thought we've had this conversation before that they weren't very fast. You could outrun them. I mean, I don't know.
They were giant chickens.
That's hard to picture, but yeah.
That's what they were. They were giant chickens.
Giant chickens.
Pissed off chickens.
Giant pissed off chickens.
With a
Alright, class, define a Tyrannosaurus
two
Rex.
bird legs and then two regular legs.
Tell me about the T-Rex. It's a pissed off giant chicken.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be terrified of a chicken if it was bigger than you. No one stops a chicken like that.
Did anyone see the size of that chicken?
That chicken would be like a 1,000-piece bucket.
Who's hungry?
There are other movies, like coming back to the topic, where it's not necessarily I wouldn't call it a curse. Remember Milo and Otis, or what was it called? Is that what the name of it was?
Milo and Otis.
Yeah, with the pug.
With the pug, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, Oh,
Well,
this-
yeah, there was
pictures of
the
Otis Redding. I
pug
don't know.
and the kitten, right? I think it was the two of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that was cursed if you were a pug.
Oh.
Well, there's a scene where the pug fights off a bear, and basically they just had an endless an endless source of pugs that they pushed towards a bear.
Oh my
And then it would
God.
smack them, and then they would get another pug and push it towards it.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah,
Well, for all your animal lovers out there,
Oh,
we are
that's
sorry.
terrible.
that
That's
movie.
terrible.
I hope I just destroyed your childhood.
But that's the thing about a lot of movies, especially older movies. There wasn't, many animal rights activists, and like think of all the horses we talked about, how they blew
Yeah,
them up
Heaven's
and
Gate.
stuff. Like if you look at movies now at the
They
very
just-
end, it's
They
like
just
no
used
animal
dynamite
was.
and they blew up horses because they were supposed to be being blown up.
Yeah. There's like disclosures now, like no animal in this film was harmed, in the making, but back in the day when film was starting and they were experimenting and stuff, that people just didn't give a crap what happened. And like we said, they had endless pugs to replace. They had endless animals to replace an animal on
You guys know how
set.
expensive pugs are now?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just terrible though.
They didn't cost enough at the time because they sure were able to get a lot of them.
It's a terrible thing.
I don't think there would have been a body count like that if they were like $250,000.
That's sad.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
sad. Oh man, that's maddening.
But there's negligence, and I mean this is just
Yeah, this
an
is
awful
another
set,
form.
and the crow could be either. There was a stupid amount of things going wrong on that set, but there was also definite negligence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like I said, where do we draw the line from cursed to lack of responsibility?
It has to be something beyond explanation, like supernatural, and I think that there's some sort of harm intended or gained, harm gains.
Yeah, Blair wants to say something. What's up, Blair?
So
Huh?
she's like, I don't actually like pugs. I said it.
For all y'all don't know, Blair's our little black kitty, and she likes to be local.
She's cursed. Yes. Have you guys heard of The Conqueror?
I haven't. No.
It was an awful movie. It was a movie about Genghis Khan, and you know who was born to play Genghis Khan? Not John Wayne. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He played John Wayne. But apparently Howard Hughes, the mogul, he ended up basically not liking the color of the earth where he decided he was going to film it. And he had been scouting for some explosions to be done on actual bombing land, on nuclear bombing land. He liked the dirt there, and so he had that imported.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Now, since that movie's production, half of the people involved with its creation have died from the cancer from getting that freaking
Oh my gosh.
that nuclear sand. Howard Hughes.
Thanks, Howard.
Thank you.
Thanks for that nuclear sand
Yeah,
idea.
when 500 people die of cancer because they were on a movie,
Oh my
involved in
God.
a movie.
That's terrible.
That
They-
is terrible.
That's called bad decisions. Sum it up right there.
Irresponsible,
Bad decisions.
terrible decisions. But that, I mean, it could very well be cursed after that. I wouldn't want to be in the reboot of The Conqueror.
No.
No,
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
So there's a
You
lot.
can't get the John Wayne.
You can't go into Tinseltown Hollywood without like stories of haunted sets, curses, the Hollywood sign, and there's Blair again putting her 2 cents in.
Oh, that Hollywood loves its ghosts.
Oh,
Loves
yeah.
its ghost stories.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But-
We definitely got to do another Curses episode because there are so
There's
many
so
we
many,
didn't
yeah.
even touch on. But you know, I think that's a
Said
good.
that so like that we didn't even touch on.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I mean,
There's so many.
There isn't a
There's-
lot.
October's about to start,
Yeah, so we're gonna
and this
kick
is
off.
this is a subject we barely talked about.
Yeah. So
And-
October is gonna be a fun month for us, guys. So for our audience, obviously, we're here in the Southwest, so it's Halloween time.
Yeah,
Spooky
this is
season
gonna be
is
great.
here.
This is gonna be great.
So look forward to pretty intense episodes coming up.
We've got some cool things planned.
Very cool. No spoilers, but really cool stuff. Listen in, chime in, comment, join our Facebook page. Tell us some curses you want us to talk about. What do you guys know about Hollywood's movie curses? Hollywood curses in itself, maybe not even related to movies.
Which of these do you think, if you had to be on one of these sets, which would it be?
Yeah. Which set would you want to be on? Poltergeist? Exorcist? Twilight
Not
Zone?
the Conqueror.
Not the Conqueror.
Probably not Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on that one too.
You could get struck by lightning or Mel Gibson.
Or Mel Gibson. Who thinks he's a god?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh gosh. Alright guys, well,
He'll yell at you while he strikes you.
chime in on our Anchor page. There is an option to leave a voicemail, and soon we will be able to accept calls into the show.
That'll be awesome.
Very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to that announcement. But October's here, guys.
This is gonna be a great month.
Yeah, it is.
Chime in, listen in. Thanks for listening. This is Fear of the Southwest podcast. Once again, this is Drew.
Stephanie,
Is it Alan?
Thanks for listening, guys.
have a good night.
Stay creepy.